You know what I hate more than anything? That's happening a lot in YouTube lately. It's bad enough that you've got to deal with YouTube ads. For some reason, we started creating things, and for everybody has got to get a commercial on it. I'm not kidding. People wonder why they look at me and go, "Just think in the future, we're gonna have like female, shall we say, machines for male use because we can't use the that dirty sex word on YouTube, or they'll blanket your video and get rid of it." And it's amazing to me watching videos, by the way. It's another thing that irks me is when they black out words that you use in everyday conversation because they're no longer politically correct. Okay, so just think in the future, you're going to have like virtual reality, or you're going to have these, lady machines, shall we say. And right as you're about to, fulfill your destiny, shall we say, all of a sudden a streaming ad's going to come up. Right across the bot or right across your VR display. Are you having trouble with erectile dysfunction? I am now. Okay, I'm not kidding. That just pops into my head. I'm like, I was off at the cybernetic happy house, to have a good time, not to get a commercial interruption. It's like, no, you won't call yours Lady G because she'll kill you. You'd be better off with the Terminator. Okay, but oh, that's right. I used another word we can't use, like kill, murder, death, things like that. Anything that's going to give anybody a downer. But yeah, Friday, it's amazing. It's Friday. We don't have to work Saturday, so no, we will not be here tomorrow. There are Saturdays scheduled, but the schedule has been so flexible. Like for this last week or two, we were supposed to have been on 9-hour shifts, and we've only been doing 8, which is great because everyone's like, yay, overtime money. I go, yeah. And then also, yeah, you're wearing on your joints, your hips, your ankles for an extra hour every day. And for what? More money than Uncle Sam's going to take away and misspend. And Elon Musk and his gang's going to find out where it went. Okay. No, what I'm saying is there's like, they finally developed well, I can't use those, a female version for physical pleasure, shall we say. Besides, it's like one of the things that always bummed me out about Star Trek The Next Generation, you have the holodeck. Imagine me and the guy who has to map up the holodeck after somebody has like a certain thing, going on in there. Because none of that stuff goes away with the simulation unless the ship does clean itself. I'm up the holodeck. I've seen things that are left over on that grid work that you don't want to know about. Okay, but as far as news, yeah, we did have the one of the writers supposedly slipped out. Like I said, I took a look at that yesterday after work. That April, May, and it's like that. I'll believe it. I want to see an air date. Officially announced. They claimed we were getting it sooner than later, but like I said, let's see what happens. Because May we'd already been talking about. April, if they do it in April around that area, I wouldn't be the least surprised if they shoot for Easter weekend. And, yeah, trust me, yeah, I don't trust Elon either because when, there's a reason why people don't just become millionaires, they become billionaires. But, and don't get me wrong, not everybody who's like wealthy out there in the world is out to get you. You have a cabal. Yeah, that sounds about right as well, Roger. I can agree with that. You might get starting dates at Eurovision. But of course, the hate mongers, the screamers, and the the nardies and the drunkards, who are now being revered as the high prophets of television, even though they haven't done jack squat other than sit there and bitch about it, you know, are going to keep complaining. And it just amazes me, all these titles and all that they pull out of their butts to sell videos of hatred. It's like they're acting like the state is sending like ninjas over around their house, and if they don't turn it to this and watch it, they're going to get a shuriken through their head or something. Or they're going to get poison darted or something. And it's like, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. As I said, you don't hear me endlessly complaining about shows like Starship Dysentery and all that. I never watched it. One look and I knew exactly what they were going to do. They were going to cash in on the original series. And guess what? Thanks to people who report to me who have watched it, they fulfilled every damn thing I said. I felt like a Nostradamus there for a minute. I was like, yep, saw that coming. I did have the same fears about Enterprise, but I don't think I've watched all of Enterprise, but I did enjoy Enterprise. Even though they're trying to rewrite the original history, I don't care. It's just, they had some very good characters on it. Then, of course, you had characters that are put on there to sell ratings. And, of course, that was Jolene Blaylock as T'Pol, and then they did the naughty decon scenes and all that crap. It's like, they even admitted later that's why they were doing those. Was as they say in the business, that dirty word, 3-word, I'll just say it. I'm going to say it. Sex sells. Oh, yeah, this is the part where I have to go, please like and subscribe, and be sure to tell your friends about this channel. Yeah, all right, but getting back to my original point. It's bad enough you have ads coming onto your YouTube channels, but now you've got these imbeciles thinking they're the next Paul Harvey, slipping these, ads, that they do themselves into videos. And I'm like, I don't like and then it's like, I don't like the YouTube commercials. What makes you think that I'm going to like you doing them? And also, I can't skip past you. Unless I sit there and hold down the button and make you talk really fast to get past your nonsense. This product I've been using since about yesterday has been a great legacy in my life. I know, they did the same thing, but no, Star Trek, they literally were. You see, I always get a little bit offended when they have prequel things and all that coming out, because here's the thing. With the Star Wars prequels, it was the man who created that galaxy, that universe, who was writing the prequel story. It's his characters. But now you've got the Ring, whatever series. Tolkien's been dead for how many years? I think his son's dead. I can't be sure on that. But now they're going to write the origin stories for his characters. And now, ever since, Abrams stepped in, he couldn't just do his own parallel universe. No, he had to put an entire segment in there where he had, the original Spock go back and screw up history. And now, if they had just made it a separate universe, okay, I might have been able to stomach it a little easier. Yeah, I've been using this stuff for minutes, and it's really good, because they sent me a free batch. That's why you're using it. They sent you something for free. Ugh. It amazes the living crap out of me. It really does. But as I said, we don't have a whole lot of Doctor news. We just have a suspected air date. And trust me, I can never remember the guy's name, because he's one of the new writers for Series 2. So one of you guys can look it up. Put there in the box for me, because I don't want to butcher his name. But yeah, he let it slip on, I believe it was Instagram, I believe, and that April, May. Yeah, I'm dying laughing. Yeah, they even created the Section 31 spinoff, and then you go back and look, and Section 31 was just a direct rip off of Bureau 13 from Babylon 5. And before you say anything, sorry, Babylon 5, Paramount had the Bible for over a year for the outline for that series, before they gave it back to JMS and politely refused him. Then, just as JMS is getting Babylon 5 into production, all of a sudden you have Deep Space Nine. And trust me, sit down, just get out a pad of paper and start writing down all the parallels between, say, Cisco and like the captain of Babylon 5. The first one was Sinclair, then Sheridan, and then trust me, your eyes will bug out on all the things that they just kind of borrowed. Now, I'm not saying DS9 is a bad series. I really enjoyed Deep Space Nine. I really enjoyed Babylon 5. But sorry, that Bureau 13, of course, stopped being mentioned, and they handed it over to pretty much, the Psi Corps, being the bad guys after a while, because I think JMS just wanted to get away from it because, damage was done at that point. Yes, JMS originally handed in the thing for Babylon 5 to Paramount, I believe, as a series, possibly as a Star Trek spinoff. And they did the same thing with, well, they didn't do the same thing, but the Orville. Seth MacFarlane originally approached Paramount with the drafts for the Orville. And they laughed him out. They died laughing. They said, this will never work. And then now look at what they're doing. They're putting out comedy Star Trek, except now they're animating it because they're trying to, bump their way into Seth MacFarlane's lane with Family Guy. That's the only reason you got an animated series and all that crap. Limper dicks is what I call it, because I'm sorry, if I wanted to watch Star Trek comedy, there are funny points in Star Trek, and there are animated Star Treks, but not cartoonish animated Star Treks. But yeah, that's exactly why Limper Dicks got made, because they were trying to cut in on the Orville's lane. They tried to get into Seth MacFarlane's backyard, basically. And yeah, like I said, I actually liked the animated Star Trek shows back in the day. They weren't made to be comedies. They weren't made to be cartoons. It was the further animated adventures of the Enterprise. And they could do things on there they couldn't do, of course, in the live show, because the live show, they didn't have the budget. All right, but yeah, they're like, why is this called Doctor Who News? I told you, I tend to wander. We don't have a whole lot of news to go off on other than the possible air date. And like I said, I don't want to lean on that too much because it's just a word of one person. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica. Oh goodness, everybody now who reports on it had really low ratings. No, it just didn't have the ratings that the studio wanted because they were pumping out $1 million an episode. I've been getting phlegmy in the morning, and I don't know why. But I think it's because of the air drying out. But our temperatures have been going up and down, up and down, up and down like crazy. And, oh God, yeah, like I said, Battlestar Galactica. And then they come back for the second series of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and they basically stole the whole plot line. They took Glenn A. Larson's plot line for that and put it into his series on Buck Rogers, and it's like, why? Yeah, but that's basically what happened. Was they were paying $1 million an episode, which back then in the 70s, huge chunk of money. So that's why they canned it, because they didn't want to pay for it. Same reason Fox screwed over Firefly. They didn't want to pay for it. They aired it in the wrong order. They put it on. They kept moving the air schedule because they didn't want to pay for a sci-fi series. It was that simple. They were going to say, okay, we gave it a shot and it sucked. Move along. Well, anyways, I just looked at the time. Once again, we have a possible air date somewhere between April and May, but it's not, like I said, it's not really specific. We will not be here tomorrow. So, just letting you know now. So, we'll probably see you all on Monday. Please take care of yourselves. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all on the flip side. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.